If you look around at your life right now and feel a profound, aching separation from the world you once knew, if the people who have known you your entire life, your family, your oldest friends, suddenly feel like strangers, if you sit in a room full of people and feel more alone than if you were on the moon, please listen closely. This is not a mistake. You are not going crazy. You are not broken, and you have not taken a wrong turn. What you are experiencing, this heaviness in the chest, this confusing silence that seems to have descended upon your life, is the most vital sign of transformation. It is the universe clearing the path. It is stripping away of the old to make way for the new. You are being isolated not to be punished, but to be protected, to be incubated. Most people spend their entire lives running from the sensation you are feeling right now. They fill every moment with noise, with chatter, with screens, with substances, because the feeling of being alone is terrified to the ego. But you are being asked to face it. You are being asked to stand in the center of the void. And I am here to tell you that this loneliness, which feels like a curse, is actually a sacred threshold. Let us look at this closely, without flinching. Let us simply observe the sensation of your life as it is right now. You go through your day, and perhaps you perform the same tasks you always have. You go to work, you answer the phone, you speak to your family. But there is a glass wall now, isn't there? You speak, but the words feel hollow, like they are dropping into a vacuum. You try to share what is happening inside you. This awakening, this realization that there is more to life than just paying bills and surviving, and you are met with blank stares. Or worse, you are met with worry. They ask you if you are depressed. They tell you that you have changed, and they say it with a tone of accusation, as if your growth is an inconvenience to their comfort, and the pain of that is sharp. It is a physical sensation. It feels like a tightening in the throat, a pressure behind the eyes. It is the pain of being unseen by those who are supposed to see you most clearly. You remember family gatherings, the noise, the laughter, the shared history. And you sit there now, and you feel like an actor who has forgotten their lines in a play that no longer makes sense. You see the drama, the unconscious patterns, the complaining, the gossiping, and you can no longer participate. You cannot pretend to be interested in the shallow surface of things because you have touched the depth. And because you cannot pretend, you withdraw. And in that withdrawal, the gap widens. This creates a deep internal conflict. Part of you wants to scream, "Do you not see? Do you not see the beauty I see? Do you not see the madness of how we are living?" But another part of you just wants to hide. You feel the heavy blanket of judgment, both their judgment of you and your judgment of them. You feel the disconnection vibrating in your solar plexus, a nervous energy that makes you want to flee. If this silence and this struggle speaks to the truth of your heart right now, I invite you to subscribe to join us in this space. We are building a sanctuary here for those who are waking up. You do not have to travel this path without a map. Now, let us go deeper. Let us understand why this is happening. Because the mind demands a reason. The mind says, if I am becoming more spiritual, if I am becoming more loving and aware, shouldn't I be more connected to people? Shouldn't my life be filled with community and joy? Why am I in this desert? Here is the truth that the mind cannot grasp, but your spirit knows. You cannot wake up while holding on to the dream. The people around you, and say this with great compassion, are still weaving the fabric of the collective dream. They are deeply identified with their roles, their ideologies, their pasts, their grievances. This is the collective ego. It is a frequency. It is a radio station that broadcasts fear, desire, and separation 24 hours a day. For years, you were tuned into that station. You hummed along with the melody of the collective dysfunction. You fit in because you were vibrating at the same frequency, but something has shifted in you. You have begun to vibrate at a different rate. You are tuning into a new station, the station of presence, of awareness, of being. And simply by the laws of physics, by the laws of metaphysics, you can no longer harmonize with the old frequency. When you try to go back, when you try to lower your vibration to fit in with your family or your old friends, it feels physically painful. It feels like trying to wear shoes that are 3 sizes too small. It pinches. It restricts blood flow. It hurts. The universe, in its infinite intelligence, sees this. The universe knows that you are in a delicate state. You are like a crab that has just shed its shell. You are soft, vulnerable, and raw. If you were to remain in the rough and tumble of the unconscious world, you would be crushed. You would be pulled back into the sleep.so. The universe isolates you. It creates a buffer zone. It removes the people who drain your energy. It removes the situations that lower your vibration. It may look like tragedy, a breakup, a job loss, a sudden falling out with a friend, but it is actually surgery. It is the surgical removal of everything that is not you. Think of the caterpillar. When it enters the cocoon, it is completely alone. It is dark. It is tight. Everything the caterpillar knew about life, eating leaves, crawling on branches, is gone. It literally dissolves. If the caterpillar had a human mind, it would think it was dying. It would think, I am lonely. I am trapped. Where's my family? But in that solitude, a miracle is occurring. The imaginary structure of the caterpillar is breaking down so that the reality of the butterfly can emerge. You are in the goof phase. You are in the cocoon. And the cocoon must be solitary. You cannot transform in a crowd. You cannot hear the subtle voice of your own soul when you are surrounded by the noise of the opinions of others. The pain you feel is the breaking of the shell. It is the breaking of your dependency on the external world for your sense of identity, for your entire life. You have looked outside of yourself to know who you are. You look to your parents. Am I a good child? You look to your peers. Am I successful? You look to society. Do I matter? Now, the universe has taken away the mirrors. You look out, and you see no reflection. You get no validation. The external world has gone silent, so that you are forced, finally, to look at the only place left, inside. This is where we must tread carefully, for there is a trap here. It is a subtle trap, one that many seekers fall into, and it causes unnecessary suffering. The trap is the ego hijacking your awakening. The ego feels this isolation, and it creates a story. It says, I am alone because I am better than them. It says, I am spiritual, and they are asleep. It says, I am a victim of a society that doesn't understand my genius. Watch this reaction within yourself. Watch the tendency to judge your family for their unconsciousness. When you sit at that dinner table and you feel that disconnection, observe the thought that says, they are so shallow. That thought is also a form of separation. That thought is the ego trying to survive through superiority. If it cannot get love, it will settle for being right. And there is another trap, the urge to wake them up. You feel the pain of their sleeping state, and you want to shake them. You want to give them the book you just read. You want to send them this video. You want to explain to them why their anger is just a projection of their childhood trauma. And when they reject you, when they laugh at you or get angry, you feel hurt. You must understand this. You cannot wake anyone up before they are ready. You cannot force a flower to bloom by prying open its petals with your fingers. You will only destroy the flower. Your attempt to change them is actually a form of violence. It is saying, you are not okay as you are. And deeper than that, it is a reflection of your own insecurity. You are trying to wake them up so that you won't feel so alone. You are trying to create company for yourself. You need them to validate your truth because you have not yet fully validated it yourself. As long as you need them to understand you, you are still enslaved by them. True freedom, true awakening, is when you no longer need to be understood. It is when you can sit with your family, hear their unconscious chatter, see their pain, and offer them nothing but space. You do not judge them. You do not try to fix them. You simply are. You become the spaciousness in the room. But this is hard. I know it is hard. The body remembers the old need for connection. The heart aches for the warmth of the tribe.so. How do we deal with this pain? How do we navigate this desert without withering away? We must move from loneliness to solitude. These two words describe the same physical situation, being alone, but they are worlds apart in frequency. Loneliness is a state of lack. It is the sensation that something is missing. It is the I looking for an other to complete it. It feels cold, dark, and draining. Solitude is a state of fullness. It is the I enjoying its own presence. It is the realization that you are not a fragment, but the whole universe experiencing itself. It feels warm, light, and expansive. The journey you are on is the alchemy of transmuting loneliness into solitude. How do we do this? We do it by going directly into the feeling. The next time you feel that wave of isolation, that ache in your chest, stop. Don't call a friend. Don't turn on the TV. Don't eat comfort food. Sit down. Close your eyes. And invite the feeling in. Say to the loneliness, I see you. You are allowed to be here. Locate the sensation in your body. Is it a knot in the stomach? A band around the chest? A heat in the face? Give it your full attention. Do not think about it. Do not tell the story of why nobody loves me. Just feel the energy of it. When you shine the light of your conscious awareness on the pain, a strange thing happens. The story evaporates. The narrative of the poor me dissolves. And what is left is just pure energy. It is just sensation. And as you hold it in your awareness, you will feel it shift. It may intensify at first, screaming for attention. But if you stay with it, if you breathe into it, it begins to loosen. It begins to expand. You realize that you are the space in which the loneliness is happening. You are the sky, and the loneliness is just a cloud passing through. The cloud is gray, yes. It is heavy, but it cannot harm the sky. In that moment, you find a peace that is not dependent on other people. You find a connection that is deeper than any human relationship. You connect with the source of life itself. This is the purpose of your isolation, to force you to find the anchor within. If you had stayed in the comfort of your tribe, you would never have found this depth. You would have remained a child, spiritually speaking. Now, you are becoming an adult. You are learning to source your own well-being. There is another aspect to this, one that offers great hope. The isolation is temporary. It is a phase, not a destination. As you become comfortable in your solitude, as you raise your vibration and stabilize in this new frequency, you become a magnet. When you were needy, when you were desperate for connection, you repelled the very thing you wanted. But when you are whole, when you are content in your own being, you begin to attract a new tribe. You will meet people who meet you in the depths. You will find family, not of blood, but of spirit. You will find people who do not need you to explain yourself, because one look in their eyes tells you that they know. They have been through the desert too, but you cannot find these people while you are still clinging to the old ones. You must create the vacuum. You must have the empty space in your life for the new to enter. So, look at your empty room, your quiet phone, your Friday nights alone, and bless them. Say, thank you. Thank you for this space. Thank you for clearing the clutter from my life. I am preparing for something greater. And regarding your biological family or your old friends, you will find that as you stop resisting them, as you stop needing them to be different, the relationship shifts. When you stop judging them for sleeping, you can love them as they dream. You can sit with them and see the innocence behind their drama. You can see that they are acting out of their own conditioning, their own pain. And because you are no longer looking to them to fill your cup, their unconsciousness no longer hurts you. You become immune. You become a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not run around the island looking for boats to save. It just stands there. It shines. It stays grounded in the rock. And the ships that are looking for the light find it. You are becoming that lighthouse. The isolation is the construction phase. It is the building of the foundation. There is a heaviness lifting now. Can you feel it? The realization that your life is not falling apart. It is falling together. The silence in your life is the voice of God. It is the sound of the universe holding its breath, waiting for you to realize who you are. Not be afraid of the aloneness. The word alone means all one. In the deepest silence, you are connected to everything. You are connected to the stars, to the earth, to the breath of every living being. You are only disconnected from the noise of the mind and the noise of the collective confusion, and that disconnection is the greatest blessing you could receive. So, tonight, or tomorrow, when that familiar ache returns, welcome it. Smile at it. It is the growing pain of your wings. You are walking a path that few dare to walk. It is the path of the pioneer. The pioneer must always leave the village first. The pioneer must brave the wilderness alone. But because you walk this path, because you clear the way, others will follow. You are breaking the generational chains of unconsciousness for your entire lineage. You are doing the work for your parents, who could not do it. You are doing the work for your children, so they won't have to. It is a noble burden, and you are strong enough to carry it. You would not have been given this assignment if you were not ready. Trust the process. Trust the silence. Trust yourself. You are not alone in this. You are never, ever truly alone. Subscribe to remember who you are. The journey continues, and we are walking it together.